That one's up. Hey, welcome in. Just getting everything set up. We'll get going in a sec. That. I think we are. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think we're good to go. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Wow, it's laggy actually. Oh, there's a pointer. I wonder if we've got that issue. Is YouTube laggy and Twitch laggy at all? Like with, I don't think it will be. It'd be noticeably really stuttery if so. We had that issue last time. But I've closed all of mine down. Let me try it on my phone. Morning, welcome in. I'm on my own stream now. Can I see my own hand? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. No, we're good. Cool. So we haven't got that issue we had last time. We had an issue where it was just jittery the entire stream, so we're all good. An echo on your end. Let me just check. You're not getting. Oh yeah, it's because it's decided to unmute my other mic. So, well, that one should be able to stay on. That echo should be gone now. It decides to just completely reset the settings for some reason, so that should be good. Let's get it going then. Obviously, tons of cap kits. This is something I've been working on for ages. People have been asking for cap kits, so instead of doing them one at a time, I've just done a ton. Like this is not even half of the ones I've made, but I have to make hundreds at a time per kit, so this is a ton of money in one go. So we've got Amigas, which everybody's been wanting to have done Amiga 500. We've got Amiga 600 somewhere. Done the Amiga 600 and the 1200 all in one go. These are now nice paper bags as well, so if I'm careful with these, all these kits are now special hybrid kits. So we have all of the aluminiums, so some of them, quite a lot of them on the 1200 are aluminium caps, and we've just got a few ceramics here. Now this is because until I test them specifically, which I have on most of them, whether ceramics work better or suitable on the systems, I'll slowly migrate all these kits to be as close to fully ceramic as they can be, basically. So we've got, at the minute, hybrid kits where anywhere the caps can be, like Game Boy, for example, fully ceramic. Game Gear, we know we've got that kit, ceramics, that was the first ones we did. PC Engine, we've got a mix of. So these are all designed to be, which we'll do in a minute. We're going to be doing the GameCube one here. So this is one we're going to be doing on the GameCube. They're designed to be ceramics everywhere they can be, and if not, aluminiums. So you start with the aluminiums, work your way down through the kit, and once you run out of the aluminiums, you'll find the ceramics are what's left, or the other way around. And they're designed one kit to fit every single possible system, basically. So if you've got different variants of GameCubes, different variants of Sega Saturns, things like that, it's fully works fully for every system. So it's one kit suits all, basically. So that's what we've got here. So we have got the Amigas. I haven't even listed these yet, but they'll all be listed later. I need to put these somewhere as we're going. probably just on the floor behind me for now. Got the Atari 2600, which ironically is like 1 or 2 caps, but it's still a kit that people want. We've got the Game Boys, which we've had for, I picked up 2 here. We've had the request for Game Boy cap kits for years, but I personally don't find they really need the caps replacing. They're pretty decent, but you know, it's a good maintenance step. So we've got cap kits, I think, for all of them. Did I do Pocket? Yeah, so we've got literally Game Boy Original twice, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. So those will all get listed shortly as well. This is a big one. Xbox Original, we'll probably do one of them. We've been after this kit for ages. People have been asking us to do like a full cap kit on the Xbox One. We need the GameCube. We're doing that. And we got the Amiga 600 I missed out. We've got the Master System 2 because I already do the Master System 1, so we've got 1 and 2 now. The Game Gear's already existing, but it's just a paper bag now instead. PC Engine and Core Graphics. PS1, so we'll probably do, I don't know whether we'll ever do the other PlayStations, but we've got the PS1 kit. Don't know why I made this, we never sell them. Neo Geo Pocket Color, but you've got that cap kit. Mega CD is pretty popular. Dreamcast, and then obviously, like I say, Xbox Original. All these cap kits, all high quality brands. So I work directly with one factory when I make the cap kits. They don't produce anything else for us. So things like Samsung, Rubicon, Panasonic, Alna, anything that's a known, you know, high quality brand, if you will, what's classed as one of the high brands. And because we buy so much when we're making the cap kits, you bear in mind, we've just made 18 cap kits, 500 each. This was like £15,000 worth of caps cost to us, let alone resale, in one order. So we tend to wipe out the stock of most of the places that keep certain caps in stock. So the brands aren't fixed in the sense that we'll say this kit comes with a specific brand, but they're only ever going to be high quality brands, basically. So GameCube wise, we're going to do this kit now because we've got a GameCube in that needs a load of work doing. HDMI, shell swap, full recap. So I'm going to literally use this kit on this. Hey, welcome in on TikTok. You have to bear with me on the slow replies because I keep forgetting to turn my head and actually look at the chat. Yeah, Echo's gone, cool. What's that? These are cap kits. So these are kits that replace capacitors on the consoles, because basically these ones leak over time. These are the things that leak and destroy most of your retro consoles. So let's see. This is where we'll find out if I've done the kits right as well. So I've got all this information for every cap and every version of console on the wiki, so you can see, you know, where they go. But we should be able to do this with just looking at the board and looking for the caps. And then we've got some 47s and 10s that are rated high enough for the caps they're going to replace. So we can either do, we'll probably look for maybe the 10s first and the 47s after. And then what I plan to do is, because there's so many versions of most consoles, and you have to, like, it's easy enough to figure out, but so people don't have to figure out, I'll probably maybe make some software where you can type in your exact model number and then it show you exactly where the caps go and which ones they are. But for now, it's a case of just sort your kit out, look what caps you've got, and just do a little bit of planning ahead if you're not sure, basically. So that's what we're going to do on this one, because obviously this is a complete full recap of a GameCube. So this is the perfect test that we've got everything in this kit. So we zoom in here and let's look at what we've got. And then we will get going on a recap, basically. And all of the ceramics come in their own bags. All of the aluminiums, they've got the values written on, so they don't come in a separate bag, because these paper bags cost like 10 times more than the plastic bags, just to be a bit more environmentally friendly. So it literally costs us more money now for the packaging than it did. $100. So I'm just sorting them out into value piles first, and then I'll show you how to figure this out basically, and we'll do a quick check that we've got everything before we start. But I've done a lot of double checking before I place this order to make sure things are right, so hopefully we've got everything. Right, so we've got them, that's different. Are those the same? 100, 220, 220, so we've actually got, and you'll see even though we've got some in this style, some in this style, because the console has certain ones in different orders basically. So I think that's everything separated. You could put them in like progressing order as well. Sometimes it's worth just getting the smallest values on this side and working our way up. So say 10 there, that is 560. 270, and you'll find a lot of these, you won't use all these because they are obviously designed for every revision of console, so you're going to find that you'll end up with quite a few left over, usually in most kits anyway. Right, they're 1,000, so they're at the end. They're going to keep rolling. They're 100, so they're about here. They're 270. Hey, thanks for the like. There's the instantaneous warning from TikTok again. This is where they say it now blocks the chat, so we'll get no more people in. Like blocks the not the chat, but the thing that actually advertises it to more people. So the we've got 1 or 5 people and don't know which. Either way, there won't be any more now because they block it. So 33 goes in between. Ooh, 8-month resub. That's as long as we've been going. 150, that'll sit in the middle. And then onto these, we have 150, which will go there with that one. Hey, welcome in. Oh yeah, you want the only one I didn't make, Amiga CD32. Just use the Amiga 1200 and hope for the best. But it's definitely missing some. I checked that when you asked, and it's a kit I nearly made, but because we don't work on them now, I thought I won't make it, but I'll probably do it in the next batch. So I'm just arranging this and hoping that I've actually made the cap kits right as well. So this is kind of a sanity check at the same time. 220s, 270. Been optimistic putting them too close to each other. You'll probably find I can probably calculate and work out maybe 2 kits you can buy that then combine with all the caps you need. That's probably what we can do. 270, 220. Right, there we go. 100 there. 390, 330, 580. So there you go. There you can see how annoying it is when you don't blend values together and you've got so many different ones. 220 there, so we've got 3 220s, another 220. Right, so there's all. That must be a 10 volt, is it? Yeah, there should be all the caps hopefully then. Oh yeah, it's I've been locked in a room for a week, not even been on stream. I've nearly forgot how to do it. When I've come on, I've forgot how I've had to update the machine, remember where the mic is, and took ages to figure out. Oh, thanks for the sub. Right, so the point of doing, well, getting all these out is this should now hopefully be all the cap kits we need on a GameCube. So let me go get the GameCube basically. Resi Evil. That'll boot into. Will that boot without Swiss now up to normal, or does it come? Doesn't? Does it comes up with that? Yeah. Swiss. Yeah. So I'll have to do Swiss. Oh, but you can boot that, can't you? Let's do this. Oh, a last photo says you've become a member when you've been a member for ages. It's like literally comment 7 months membership, notification, first subscriber. It's like it's I think that is YouTube, isn't it? The notification doesn't work. Yeah, the iron. I've got it here. I've actually got two. This is the nano, but I don't think they're going to last long enough to do the job. So I've got another one here as well. So we've got two. So I've got another one just in case it's a fault or whether it's just a limit in the capacity. But if I'm being honest, I'm going to guess the nano isn't going to last long enough to do most jobs. So we'll literally, I'm using it now. Zach's got mine, and we'll see like on screen if this is going to last. So we've got, this is a GameCube that the customer wanted on stream. So we won't get a chance to stream all of it because it's having everything. But you guys will get to see the whole thing working. But this is their original. You can see we've peekabooted already. We just don't want to show that part off typically on stream because of what it is. We don't kind of want to show the process if we can help it. But we've got their original silver. They're having a clear purple shell, which is down here. I think I showed it off on the last stream. Oh yeah, the silvers always get scratched. That's always the problem. But we're going to be kitting it out with a nice new purple shell. This is going to have all of it replaced. So we've got the whole kit. So yeah, it's not going to get all complete on stream. I don't think we'll get started on it here, and then we'll move on to finishing it all off, and then I'll show it you probably tomorrow when it's all up and running, and we'll have a play on it, make sure it works. But so far, let's power this thing up. We've got the peekaboot done so far. That's all there is. Oh yeah, we've just expanded to a ton more cap kits now. So I really need to do some kind of interactive website for them, I think, because as I say, these cap kits are designed to be one cap kit for the console. So if there's like Mega Drive, for example, there's like 7, 8, 9, 10 revisions. So the cap kit covers all the revisions and makes sure that it has enough for every version. And then now we're doing these. People don't just like everything being replaced with ceramics, but I do. So it's like I'm working my way through the kits to be, at the minute, the hybrids with, just these caps. And then as we go through, I test the system by replacing them with ceramics, measuring what goes on an oscilloscope, and eventually move the cap kits as close to ceramics as possible. But for now, that'd take forever. So we've just released all the cap kits to start with. Yeah, cap kits on the GBAs. So many people, damn it. The GBAs are actually significantly harder than most consoles to do the cap kits on, if I'm being honest. It's always the ones you think are simple that cause the most problems. What we see, most of it's easy to fix anyway. If you tear traces and stuff, then it's easy enough to fix. It's just knowing what you're doing. I think once you make damage to it, you kind of just think you've damaged it for good and panic, sort of thing. Let's get these in. People following will see you live. I don't know whether they do on TikTok, because honestly, they clearly block it and filter it, because we have like, I don't know, tens of thousands of people on TikTok, and we used to get between 10 and 100,000 views a video on the fixed ones, and the lives just get literally 2 or 3 people like every time. So there's definitely something going on with TikTok's kind of blocking it, if you will. Oh yeah, C26 is a big one for people. They definitely flick that off. I should probably redo the Dion to make it easier to install somehow, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing that's possible, to be honest, with where it has to go. So this should work and boot into Swiss if you actually plug the thing in. Have you got that? The thing that actually is Swiss, you know what I mean? The card. Or is that the other customers want it? We haven't made one yet, have we?
There is one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, where is it? Is it still on that bag with? Yeah, there we go. So, the only thing I don't like about the newer peekaboot doesn't let you boot into the normal operating system unless you insert a card, whereas the older one would just go to the normal menu regardless. So yeah, there we go, Resident Evil. So this is just a quick test that it works already. Yeah, the small one is, well, it shows it all on the wiki. It tells you exactly what it's for, but one gets rid of the low hum and one gets rid of the high hiss on the RAM. And I think the little one is for RAM noise. So you'll probably, oh, where's Code Veronica? Yes. You'll probably only notice it. What you'll probably notice without that on is noise when games are loading and things are happening, basically. Oh, look at that lovely composite that won't have the color right. We need some RGB. So this will go when, this will make Resident Evil look better, actually. It'll look all, it'll look all weird with the colors being off. I have sent it. I can do it on stream if you want. Is it already here? Because I can jump on it and quickly fix it, show you while you're on stream. Yes, when they get the HDMI mod, this color issue will go away. This is when games change region and composite can't change the chroma, so that's why you're getting those weird colors. It's there, cool. What's your order number? I'll have a look. Do we have now? Yeah, we've got audio. I've got it muted. 1 second. Okay, HDMI audio does not want to come through. Yeah, I've got audio. I can see it actually happening in the background, but OBS has been OBS, so it's not coming through. 56312. Let's have a look. Let me just change this monitor on and off. 56312. Right, that should have fixed it now, maybe. I've got the TV turned down. I've got no audio. OBS is screwed. Anyway, it's definitely got noise. It's just
the American
OBS
Midwestern Raccoon City has been completely decimated due to the T-virus outbreak that was instigated by the international corporation Umbrella.
56312.
Claire Redfield, who arrived in Raccoon City to search for her lost brother Chris, and a rookie police officer, Leon S. Kennedy, managed to escape from the city.
I can put you one of the cat
but
bits.
their ordeal was only
anyway.
a prelude of things to come.
I'm guessing it's a green
3
green
months
GBA,
later,
green and yellow. I can't remember what I did to get this audio to work on ABS. I can see it literally.
Your identification number is WKD 4496. Welcome to your new home.
There's the HDMI. That's the game making audio. So
her name is Claire Redfield. We caught her trespassing
anywhere.
Facility 10 days ago.
Settings.
She apparently infiltrated the complex looking for her lost brother, Chris Redfield, one of the surviving members of RPD's famous STARS team.
So this is what OBS does sometimes, so can't explain it. It's, just have to trust me this how or I can just turn on, tell you what we'll do. We'll turn on the CRT and then you put the audio. All fine. Ignore the colours, that'll be fixed with the HDMI. So we know the system's good. Now we need to recap. Yeah, Zelda one, I've found it. So we'll start this GameCube stuff off, and then I've got yours here. We'll have a quick look at that in between. Move. You can have all these bits back, can't you? Mind you, I'll be testing it, won't I? So might as well keep them over here. What do we need? We now need to, well, let me show you where you can get all this info, which if you don't know by now, it's on retro6.wiki. So if we pull up Tinterweb, we've got 215 people on right now. 500,000 people have visited in less than 2 months. And we've got 2,200 members, so pretty active. This is all free. I host it, write it, and everything. So if you get any benefit, go down here, click the donate, send me some coffee money or pug money. So if we go on to here now, everything's got cap kits in there, like every console. So if we go to Nintendo GameCube, capacitors, we now got this list. And you can see we've got the main board for this version, the main board for this version, main board for this version, and then we've got the power boards, the PAL main board. So literally everything. You can see how many boards there are. It's ridiculous. So that's why the cap kit's got so many things in. But we cover every one, all your original voltages, the designators, whether they're SMD, which is ultimately these ones are SMD, the ones that are flat, whereas the big spiky legs are through hole, which is, go back to here, the ones that are through hole will say through hole. So that's the THT is through hole, the SMD is without legs. And then these are the originals, and then obviously the ones can get replaced with ceramics. So it's kind of, I guess if you're doing a cap kit or you're replacing caps, you should know what you're doing anyway with a console. But we could do with at least a bit of a guide. I know why people like the guides to help them look at, like some people will say, have you got the capacitor map and stuff that tells you where they go, but in my eyes, I just look at where the caps are, find them and swap them one at a time. I don't need a cap guide, if you will. So there's caps on this board, which will get replaced. There's the controller board, which I believe has, we've got any on. This version doesn't have any on, so there's nothing to do on that. We've got this little power board, which the cap kits don't normally come with caps for power boards, with the exception if they are kind of internal DC regulator stuff. Otherwise, if it's like an external power brick, like the PS1, you won't get the caps for the power board because they are more expensive than the whole thing, plus you're dealing with mains voltage. I think that's kind of the rule I did with the cap kits. If you're dealing with mains voltage, I don't sell the mains voltage cap kits because, I don't know, I've seen enough people do stuff with cap kits that you kind of know they don't necessarily know what they're doing in a sense, and it's not a bad thing. You learn by doing, but I don't want to be giving people advice and selling cap kits when I don't really trust people doing it on mains voltage, if you know what I mean. So we've got this board. This is a horrible one to do a full recap on. Bottom shell's fine. We've got motherboard here. The Game Gear's power board, because it's not mains voltage, so that's why you get them. That's the power switch. That's the front board, and that's the laser. So we're all good on this one. So we should have cap kits for everything. Those two don't have cap kits, the fan and the switch. And we are going to do, I don't know, which one do you want me to do? Do you want me to do laser board? Or do you want me to do motherboard? Because I'll start one and then I'll get Zach working on the rest. And he can use the caps off this kit, basically. So, in fact, I'll probably have to do the full recap because, well, I don't have to. But I'll probably, what I'll do is I'll start doing the recap and then I'll pass it off to Zach to carry on while we jump onto other bits. Because you've seen how slow I am at doing streaming work. I tend to chat to you guys more than work. So let's put all these out the way in my nice order. And we'll start working through it. Let's get some actual solder down and get something going. It's already had as well all the thermal pads replaced. So you can see nice new thermals. These are pads instead of paste. So you can see that one's stuck on the end of there. So this customer's pretty much had everything maxed out. So that's why it's going to have to be split across. I'll do so much of the work and then we'll wrap it up and then I'll show it off on stream. Is it easier to use hot air? It's preference. I'll show you both ways. I'll show you. Well, I almost definitely will, because I don't think this iron is going to last. It certainly isn't going to last for a whole recap like the full-size one does. So let's just start with recapping with the iron, and when the iron runs out of juice, we'll go to hot airing. But to be honest, I don't know whether the iron's going to be suitable for the recapping either, the nano, because I wouldn't recap this, you see, with, like, looking at these SMDs, I wouldn't use an iron to take them off. I'd hot air them off. So let's start with hot airing them off. I guess that's where we start. So let's go to here, and let's pick a sponge under there so it doesn't rock. Bring that into focus. Hot air on. So what I'm going to do is, again, these can explode in your face for safety, if you will. If I just go over here like this now and leave heat on, that's going to go bang and pop right up. So warm around SMDs. There's no problem taking off SMDs with hot air. Just never put the hot air over the top. And that's the only advice I can say. Maybe wear some glasses until you're used to your iron and your hot air, because if they pop in your face, they don't really explode, as in this isn't going to fly in your face, the gases that comes out of it. And it can just happen randomly, so just bear that in mind. Just like my face is physically out the way of this going up. I shouldn't, pop caps anyway. I'm pretty used to it now. But preheat the board quite a bit first, because the whole board at the minute has no heat on it whatsoever. So kind of spending a bit more time just warming the board in general before I go in on the first cap. And then after that, the rest will come off fairly quick. Tweezers, I just use these universally for everything, just flat, hard tweezers. Personal preference. There's many kinds. I used to use the bent kind, but what I found with the bent kind was the sharper the tip, the easier they are to bend, and then I keep replacing tweezers. Whereas with these, they're pointy enough, but they're also really firm. So these can take some serious abuse. So then I've got one tweezer for all jobs, basically, is the idea. So what I'm going to do is remember this, or you guys are. Got 116, 6, 6, and 140. I'm going to remember that. You guys remember that. 100, 220s, and a 150. I'm going to take all of them off in a row. And then we'll put the new caps on. And I'm going to use the iron for putting them back on. And this is going to be the nano iron. So see, it says Luke Nano on the iron. I got my hot air to 400 Celsius as well, so it's quite low. Hence why the initial warm-up will take a bit longer. Oh yeah, then in fact, yeah, there's a point. I brought the tools and forgot all about them. Literally, see, that's how used to not using tweezers I am. Probably would want to put some. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, there you go. Sitting there showing you a task. So that kind of changes things. Yeah, buy some nano tweezers, or not even called nano tweezers, are they? Buy some of these. I brought them with my own money. B tweezers. Never even thought about that. But what I was going to show you is hot air them forever, like I was doing until they come off. I forget sometimes that I've got new tools. Sponsored by JBC, and I'm sitting here showing you how to hot air stuff off when I've just brought the tweezers. So now we can also do them one at a time. So 116 volts, they're in order on my desk now. So I shouldn't struggle finding it. I'm going to guess that's it. 116 volt, that's 106.1. So we're ready, good start. Why is that 116? And what do we replace it with? Have I missed 100 somewhere? I've got a 1, yeah, there's a point. Wicked, my kit's already missing a cap kit. Or got the wrong value. Let me check my wiki. Very first one I pick up. Or was it one where, oh, this might be one where it's spec'd to 16 on some revisions. And yeah, oh yeah, that's one. It's 16 PAL. So yeah, so this is ooh. I was meant to be being good. Chicken sandwich, I reckon.
Do you want that? What I had.
Yeah, go on, I'll do that. Yeah. 6 volt through hole, external. Oh no, wait, that's just shaking the camera, shutting that door. Oh no, I know what. People are upstairs walking around, that's why. I was like, why is the camera shaking? Optical drive, motherboard, main motherboard. Yeah, so what it is, I remember doing this on here. So there's, if you check out the schematic, the one we're taking off, C2 here, it's spec to 16, but it's the same motherboard as these where they've got the 106. And when you check the schematic, there's no need for the 16. That will have been a stock, and the others are all 6. So this is one where I double check the schematic and you can replace it with a 6, which I know some people will then panic about because you're swapping out one voltage for another. But if you open up the schematic, that's where you can find this is literally, so that's why these are 6 as well. And this is 4. This is sitting on the 5-volt rail. So the 6.3 and 100 is perfectly fine. I nearly had a slight panic then when the very first one was looking wrong, but that's about the only exception where we found on which you'll find on some boards. Sometimes it's just about, oops, oh, I had that nice and in position then. Sometimes on the boards when they're producing them, if there's simply no stock of the lower voltage and they've got stock of higher, then they will just put the higher spec on if it still fits. So that's very first cap I come to, and that's the one exception to that rule. Oh yeah, look at that, it's worked nice. Could have zoomed in closer on that. So that's first one done. It's going to be a slow process. I don't know whether you want to even bother starting on the caps. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because it's like we're not going to get it done all in one go anyway. But do you want like do that off whenever you want? Now I've got the caps on my desk.
You want me to recap it?
Yeah, you can do the other off because I'll probably be on this top off for half an hour. But when you come to do it, just ask me what caps you need basically, and I'll pass them over, and it'll cut down on the kit. So for getting them off, then you can either do the hot air or do what I've just done, which is the tweezers, the JBC tweezers. And if we get in there, you should be able to. I can position them just right. Just literally warm them up and lift them off. He says. There we go. And we'll get the other one off. Like normally, I'd probably put some fresh solder on, so you're not dealing with factory lead-free solder, and so you're not melting the plastic like I am. I've got no practice with tweezers, by the way, if I make this look way more difficult than it is. Yeah, I think maybe. I'm also not looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking at the screen. Oh yeah, my tweezers are miles in the air. looking on the stream, and my tweezers are halfway up the cap, just melting plastic. Maybe I should look at what I'm doing. Right, so there's the 220s. Now I need to clean my tweezers because they stink of melted plastic. And let's maybe zoom in on that. Hey, welcome in. We're just slowly doing a recap on a GameCube with the new cap kit. And now these are 220s, 6-volt, so they will be 220s. There we go, so that's them two. And then we'll get the nano iron, put some, if I'm going to use the iron to put them back on, I will solder one side, and then you can use flux as well, but it depends if you need it, basically. And put the iron on there, get it tacked in, get your tweezers back in a good position, and slide it over, and then you can see that's the old bit of plastic off the old caps, this brown stuff. Just clear that out of the way. And then when the other side is tacked down, just do that. And some people like to get just the right amount of solder on. Some people don't like to see that excessive solder reveal, like too much solder. Where's my new one? Over there. And then for hot airing, you could hot air them back down, but I wouldn't recommend hot airing SMDs back down, because that's where, if you don't get the right temps, they will pop. Like, it's a very easy thing to do. If you don't get the right temps putting back down, it's a bit easier taking them off, because you can go around, and when it's warm enough to come off, it's a very quick thing that you just warming them up just enough to get off. But putting them down, you need to take your time to position them and stuff. So that's where you end up putting the heat on too long and them popping on you, basically. So now we've got the 150, which I remember there's definitely a random 150. There we go, that's that 150, 4 volt. You can see this is slightly fatter, but will fit on. That's just, again, the stock, basically. Are they the right way around? They are definitely not the right way around. I'll turn them around in a minute. See, I told you I don't pay attention on the streams. I might show you hot airing them off as well, show you the idea. But I probably don't want to hot air my new ones off. Mind you, I think hot airing them off is going to be easier. Yeah, I think I'm not used to these tweezers at all. Or, like I say, you'd probably want to put some fresh solder down. Typically, you wouldn't just go straight on dry. Yeah, I'm terrible at using these. Let's put the fresh solder on. Get some leaded solder. It wants something to touch on as well. Like that, and then probably get some flux. And then go back down. So then now it's got something to actually make contact with. We should get this off easier. Hey, welcome in. Just putting caps on backwards, showing you how to do it properly. Why is this one not going to come off? I think they're off. I think I just need to lift up. I think it feels like they're not moving and they're actually just off, but I'm not lifting up, you know, because I don't want to like lift up if it's not soldered down. Right, so let's get these ones I've put on backwards. So this is actually a good thing. If you put them on backwards like this, they're actually harder to get off than on. So I would probably, let me show you how I'd get them off. You've got plastic in this connector as well as the other thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm up this side. I'm barely going to touch this side because we've got this cage. So this is how I'd get them off, which is what we started with. Yeah, I think, in fact, I think tinning the tweezer tips is probably the best thing. Oh yeah, I'm going to end up melting the plastic with this as well. So right, set. What I do when I'm hot airing them off is normally run a very low temp and take ages to get them off. But see if we can get these off nicely. They should come off fairly easy now as well because they've got the leaded solder on. But we've got to preheat this board in the same fashion. So go around the areas that aren't the caps basically, and the heat will penetrate in. And I think I'd be quicker with the hot air getting them off, but I want to practice with them tweezers. That's the whole point. I want to get better at them. So there you go. That's off there. And this one will come off pretty much the same. And then I'll just quickly, I'll put these back on with the hot air just for speed. And then you've kind of seen both techniques. So flip that around. Warm up. Now what you can do is pre-warm the pad quite a bit. Drop in your cap at last minute. In fact, no, I'm not even going to bother hot airing them. I'm just going to iron them back down. I'm going to make a dog zero it otherwise. Let's just get it back on the normal way, like so. You watch, I'll put it back down the exact same way again. So that's that one on. I mean, it's not like they've got a big bar on the cap on the board telling you which way they go. back on. Now to put back the... Oh, we didn't put the other one on yet, we took it off. Let's put the new one of these on, the right way this time. So, positive first. Zoom in a bit. We've got a bit of crap on the board there. Old solder. Because we've taken these on and off, we'll put a bit of flux to clean them connections up. You don't need flux if you're doing the first connection because the solder's... Oh, board's hot. The solder's got flux in, but if you're reworking it like we've just done, there's not going to be flux in there for making a nice clean connection. Right, so that goes there, and then I'm going to warm that pad up, slide them in, and this one's a bit bigger, so what you have to do is slide over. You have to warm it up and slide over like that, so it kind of covers the pad, but you're melting the solder as you're going there, so you kind of, once that's on, it'd be harder to get off because you haven't got access to the pad is clean, but it's a technique you just learn basically when fitting SMDs. You kind of warm the pad and slide it over the pad because it'll still be making contact underneath. And there we go. So that's them on rock solid. All good. So that is, everything's boiling on this board now. That's them 4. It's actually not that bad. You know, there's a lot of caps in the kit, but I think it's mainly to cover the revisions. So we've only got, really, I could probably do the rest of it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And on the other side, oh, so it's gonna be the laser board where they're all at, aren't they? So we'll do that. Right, let's see if I can do this tweezer thing any better, because I am exceptionally bad at this tweezering at the minute. Let's do a bit of prep like we should. So I suppose get the actual caps with solder on. See if I can fit that one down there. I think I just work a lot slower than you and chat more because this iron's lasting fine for me. Well, it is and it isn't. It's a 73% and I've barely used it like, but I don't know, we'll see. Right, so tweezers. Let's put flux on as well. This has got the best chance of coming off then. And then I need to try and actually lift because I keep thinking it's not come off when it has. So, like, to me that isn't off yet, but let me try and lift up. No, it isn't. And the other thing is, bear in mind, these tips you can change. So I chose these tips. I think we probably need fatter tips on it, maybe. Yeah, because this is struggling to get them off. I mean, this is like power plane stuff, but this is not getting these caps off either. I think the tip size needs to be a bit larger, because this should come off like how the first one did, like pretty rapid. So I think we need maybe thicker tips, basically. Because this is definitely, look how that side's off and that side didn't really melt much. So, I don't know, it can melt the pads fine. Is it still just my technique? Because look, it's got no issues melting pads. Can't tell whether it's just how I'm using them or what. These have got 270, those two are. And can we get this one out? This is where they come in useful, getting the ones out in the gaps. Why does that look like we've done that one? That looks like it's been done, doesn't it? 6.3. Did we do that one? Is that the 6.3 one we did? Yeah, it is. We've done that. Just that one, haven't we? Or are we missing a cap in this kit? Because that's the 6.3. Why does that look like we've done it? Either way, I better check that after. I'll check the kit. We might have to chuck, I think we've got to chuck an extra one in for this maybe. I think we have got one cap missing in this kit because I don't remember doing that one. And that would be the 6. 0.3 volts. So I think we've actually got a 116 volt missing that we need chuck in the kit. That'd explain that. So I'll check that after. Right, so let's chuck these two on. These are the 270s, which are here. I mean, we've got plenty. We've got, technically, it's a bulk capacitor, so we could like chuck on a 220 and replace this 100 with a 220. There's like no issues whatsoever with that. This is purely bulk capacitance after this feed through from the diode. So in theory, we don't need an extra cap, but I'll probably chuck one in. We'll see. Alright, so same idea. Go on there. The ground side first. That's it. And then I will probably, oh, actually it doesn't matter. I was going to say, normally if you get close to things like metal shields, I'd normally put the cap in towards the obstruction first. So when you come to put your second connection in, and this is the other way around to be careful with. If you come to put the second joint in and then the physical thing is in your way, it can be more difficult. So I'd normally put this in, starting with, you know, the pad over there, but it looks like we've got enough room on this one, so it shouldn't be an issue, but just bear that in mind. If you're coming to put things in and this is getting close, start with this end so you can slide it in. But you can see I've got enough room there. Just get a little bit of floating ball out of the way. There we go. So that's them on. So that's all there is to that board. I thought there was going to be way more. So let's take a look at the laser board then, because we've got all them caps yet. But again, bear in mind, like I say, these are for all the revisions where there's potentially a lot more caps. There's only like 7 or 8 on that, so they're all going to be on this, aren't they? I know my luck, this is going to come off. There's going to be hundreds. Oh, I forgot that, Anna. I put that down here. I'm there chuntering away. Oh no, where is it? Yeah, see, I knew there was a little DC converter board. Oh, I'm there saying there's no caps on this game. This is the DC board under here, I think. Because it's on the Panasonic Q, it's just floating around as a separate board. Oh no, it's not there. Have you got it already somewhere? Taking that off. Like a little DC board, isn't it? Like a little cube. It's not this model, maybe.
Yeah, I bet it's not.
It's not. Yeah, I know which one you mean, because that's what I was thinking of. It's on the Panasonic Q. There's like a little DC board. Yeah, the streams are like YouTube keeps them there. Yeah, I think there is a model of the. I'm sure there's a model of the GameCube with that on, but if not, I'm looking at the Panasonic Q one where there's a big board, but I was acting on about it and he hasn't done Panasonic Qs, so I'm pretty sure there's a model. It'll be the Doll OOO. So it's got this separate DC board, which is what these big things will be for, I'm guaranteed. So it's good news for us. I just hope there's like 4 caps on this and then we're done. I wonder if on that 100, you know what? I wonder if the 100... I know what I've done with the kit. The 116 has turned itself and combined it into a through hole, not an SMD and a through hole. That's what it'll have been. But I think I'll just chuck 116 volt in, otherwise getting confuse people like that. It's too much confusion, that is. To not have that extra one in. Ooh, so far so good. So let's take this apart a bit. Bring it into focus, zoom out. Yeah, will do. I'll jump onto it after. I presume it's we just got to get it up and running, but I've got all your notes on the order, so I can check it when I get round to it. It'll basically be after we've done this. Once we've done the recap, I'll jump on it while the HDMI work and everything's getting done. I like to push on these connectors as well, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I don't like to tug on the wire because of pulling the wire, so I like to dig my tweezers firm in and push. That's why I like these tweezers, because they're indestructible. We've got, let's take the screws out and see. Did you say this drive is the one that barely loads games, isn't it?
This drive?
Yeah.
I don't think it even loads.
Ah, yeah, so this one is the customer's having the Peekaboot, but this drive actually doesn't load games, so it'll be interesting to see with the recap if it then loads games, see if it was the caps causing it. But the fact they're having the Peekaboot, and I think they've had it fully loaded, then they've got every game on there already. I don't know. Yeah, these are labelled, so see how it says red and brown, so we can take these off without even thinking about it. That gets that out of the way. The flex ribbon I'm going to leave on. I do not want to have to take that off if I can help it. And screws off, screws off. What am I missing? Oh, clip there. So you got the little clip on there, keeping the board in that way. And that's it. So the rest, this is the laser going up to the top. So we want to, are we going to have to, oh, I can see loads of caps. Let me get this laser off first instead. So this laser, you've got a latch there to lift it off, and that lifts out. I'm trying to get this out. There's another latch here. So again, in there, out the way. This now comes off. And if we do it just right, we can get that off there without having to separate these two. We've then just got to feed that through, feed that out, and lift that off. So it's just a bit of origami. Probably should have showed you that on the other camera. It would have been easier to see. And there's no reason this shouldn't lift up, it's just a bit stuck. And then the motor wire is attached to the cage. That clip. There we go. So that out the way. Got all the screws out the way. Tweezers back, screwdriver back. Locks out the way. And here we go. So laser that way, you can flip over. There is no caps on the laser. If we need to tune, we have a potentiometer on this one somewhere, I believe. Is it not on the board? No, it'll be on. So the tuning laser one is probably this one, but this is what we've come for. Unfortunately, it's not that bad at all. I was expecting a lot worse. So this one isn't that bad. So let's get, we know it's all SMDs. I'm concerned with this kit. Why does it not look like we've got the right caps? Because a lot of these now are the ceramics, I believe. So let's just double check sanity here. There's something, I feel there's something not right with this kit. 220. What have we got here? Let's zoom in. Right, we've got the 47, 47s. This is ceramics. So we've got 47, 47 is fine. 106.3. I think that's where we've messed up here. There's something going on with the 106 like the 100 microfarads. I think we should have had 100 microfarad ceramics in. We definitely should have it at 6.3. So I need to make a note of what's actually missing here for chucking. I don't know how we're missing. I quadruple checked all this stuff. This is why we do it though. We need 100 SMD 16 volt. We need 100 in ceramic so far. So that'll be the 100 ceramic. Hey, welcome in. Then we've got another 47 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 6 in here, so that's fine. They're all covered. That's the one that's missing. 100 CS, we need 2 of them. This isn't too bad though, because the ceramics we have hundreds of, so we can chuck them in. 220 is there, I believe. Where are we? 224 volt is 224 volt. So that's that one. Ceramic, ceramic, ceramic. So all them ceramics. We need 3. Yeah, we've definitely, well, I say we, either I've forgot to tell the factory. It looks like I forgot to tell them the pack of ceramic hundreds is what's missing out of this kit. That definitely seems like what I've done somehow. Yeah, and then everything else is there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one, was it? Or was it them 3? Yeah, it's 4, because the one on the board. So this kit basically needs 4 100 microfarad ceramics and 1 SMD. So I'll get, obviously, you guys won't need to do that. I'll put them in the kit before they go. So now we have, yeah, see, and this is the extra one for other kits. And then we've got tons left over that are not for this kit, like absolutely tons. So what we don't need in this kit, because it's for different models, is we don't need them, we don't need them, don't need them, don't need them. So it looks scary because the kit covers every model, but we literally don't need any of them, which is crazy. So it's like, in one way you get a lot of waste, but in another way it makes sure there's one kit that's sold that fits every model and you don't have to mess around. So we need them, that, and 4 ceramics. No, these are ceramics, these ones. So we have the 47s and the 100 we'll do first, and then we just need 4 100 SMDs, which I've got on my desk anyway. Right, so let's do the, I think the 47s first. Let's just hot air all them off. I'm quicker with, oh no, I did say I wanted to practice with my tweezers. Kind of regretting I said that, but let's see if I can just get them off. I think I need tips that are bigger, because it's confusing, because it's like you can see the pads are free. I don't know. I can't make my mind up whether it's me not using these tweezers right, or do I need larger tips? I really can't tell. So that was with, it got that one off. You can see, look, it melts the pads. You know what I think you need to do? I think you need to, what I'm doing is feeling like I need to tweeze it into the cap. What I should be doing, like that. There you go. You push down on the board. That's how you do it. So there you go. There's a 47. So watch this. No extra solder. Push down on the board. Leave it away from the cap. And then just lift away, he says. Just as I thought I got it. Yeah, that's the trick. So there is, how do I clean the tips of these? There is definitely just a skill issue here. Straighten up. No, before I was having to use them upside down like this, just because I was trying to get in a gap. You should use them this way. It's just we couldn't fit it in when we were doing the. Was it the Game Boys or the Game Gears we were fixing? But either way, they're the same ones, just different. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm looking at putting the tweezers on the outside pads and pushing down. It's as if I'm just trying to melt pads like this, and I'm just looking at the pads and pushing down. So before I was having this feeling that I needed to tweezer in, and it looks like if you don't do that and you just go over the pads and push down, not in, like on there, say, and I'm not trying to push in on the cap, I'm just pushing down. You can see it's melting the pads, and then once you see them melt, then just lift away. So yeah, they are fine. I just need to learn how to use them, basically. That's my salad on the way, I reckon. Do you have a graph of the tweezers? Yeah, I'm in the middle of messing with the software, so I didn't want to touch it, but let's try and turn them on. This is either going to break them both or work. There we go. So now this, push down on the board. You see the power going through. Yeah, and then when it levels out, oh, he says, maybe just after it was leveled out, we were probably just about ready to move away then. There we go. Yeah, so these are perfectly fine. I need to just learn how to use them. That is the takeaway there. I think a lot with the JBC stuff is you need to, I don't know, it definitely does make you, I think, solder correctly. I do feel at first you think something's not working right or they're not hot enough, and normal tweezers will just sit and pump the power in, whereas the JBC ones are controlled and tapered, and it does definitely make you have to have the technique right before it will work. I think that's the take home there. Right, back to my fun things. Ceramic caps. These are so much easier. I'm going to have to do a lot of cap kits on this channel now as well, because I've got to go through all my kits and double check I haven't missed stuff. I genuinely have no idea. I've got a feeling the factory surely can't have missed out 2 random caps, like 4 ceramics and 1 non-ceramic, but I think I've messed up on this one, and this is one of the most complicated cap kits to make universal because there's just so many variations of it that I'm surprised I got it this accurate. But like I say, they don't just end up getting released without me testing them anyway. And then if we find issues, if we sell them and people realise there's stuff missing, then we just open up the packs we've got, chuck the missing caps in, and then correct it going forward. So it's not a big issue anyway. We sell plenty of these cap kits when we make them, so it'll be like with a lot of the stuff we do, we try our best, we release it, and you guys will let us know if we've messed up, basically. But I do think I want some software to... that's a dry joint. There we go. I want some software to help people with choosing which caps end up being ceramics and which don't, because to me it's kind of obvious. I'll look at what's in the kit and figure it out as I'm going, but a lot of people don't want to do that. Which is understandable. So I can work on coming up with some ideas for software to do that. And the benefit of ceramics is you don't put them on backwards like I do with the... You can tell how much I don't use aluminiums normally, because the very first ceramics I did, I put on backwards. There we go. I've got 2 left in my kit, but have I actually got 2 left, or was there 1 extra? I think there'll be 1 extra, because I don't think there was 6. I think there was 5. It depends a lot of people who did the layout use release, but oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot that goes into the layout considerations as well. Okay. I've got my McSalad. It's slowly turning into Man v Food, this channel. So you seem to catch me when I'm in the middle of food days, to be honest. I can only apologise that I've now got a lapel mic as well, so you're going to hear all the nice food noises. Yeah, it's a McSalad. It's like a brown lettuce with a really thick piece of grass, I think that is, in the middle. Right, oh, there is 6. So there we've got just the right amount. Yeah, that's it. You gotta have your rewards every now and then. I remember when we years ago went into Mackey's, and it was at the time when everything kept coming out that was Mc everything, McFish, McCafe. In fact, I don't even think the McFish is one. That's where the joke was going. Like, I think they come out with the McCafe stuff, and I don't know why it tickled us, but we went in and we were asking, we were having, oh, we'll have I don't know, a McCrispy one around at the time, but like a McCrispy, and then we'll have a McThis, and then for some reason we ended up saying we'll have a McFish, and then just took the giggles in the middle of McDonald's and just absolutely wetting ourselves. Nobody else was. We were just stood at the counter, laughing our head off, staring at like the server. They must have thought we were crazy, but it was just funny at the time. Right, so we got this one here. Try the tweezer trick again, which is to go over the board and just push down and wait like that, and then just lift off basically. I think it's the lifting off I've got to get used to as well, because it rapidly cools down. Like, that was quite a thick thermal pad in a sense. Not massive, but for the irons quite big. So when it's, that's hot. Just picked it up with my fingers. When it's molten, you have to go from pushing down on the board to, I like kind of gripped and lifted up, and then it went back to solid. So it's definitely just practice. I don't think we need to go to larger size tips, because if you find you do need more power, you can just put bigger tips on the iron, because they're just normal. Like, I could literally put this tip in, this big. I could have 2 of these knife tips if I wanted, because they are the same physical insert. So it's good to know if I did struggle, I could go up in the size. But I honestly think sometimes just because I've been soldering for years, try not to immediately think there's something wrong with the tools, when it could just be your skill level. And those tweezers already, just doing it from the start to now, I'm a lot more confident now. I can actually use them a little bit better. I don't know what made me think of kind of pushing down on the board. Well, it was when there was no cap on and I was testing, actually seeing if they'd melt the solder, and they were. So that's kind of what proved they were definitely good enough for that. Right, we've just got 3 left now. These 3. Ooh, there's that salad again. Cheese and bacon salad. I didn't know it was a cheese and bacon salad. Or is it a universal box? That's crunchy. You're definitely going to get ASMR crunchies now. This is the time when the other microphone would probably have been beneficial. The one not right in my face. I'll tell you what, the weather's insane. It was raining and stormy an hour ago, and now it's bright sunshine outside like nothing ever happened. But I think we've got did somebody say we've got a storm or something? There we go, that one's off. Like an official storm coming over. Oh, one bite and it's gone everywhere in my teeth. There we go. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to this recap, and then it's turned out to be not that bad. But there's obviously a lot of variations of the GameCube is the problem. So the cap kit just has to have so many caps in to cover that. I haven't even checked if TikTok's still running, actually. It's It's hidden behind my wiki. I better look if people are still online. That's it. Right, and 3 caps to go. Ooh, I've got a cap I took off there. Good job I spotted that. This is one be careful of then if you're hot airing off. Taken that cap off, and the ceramics come along with it right next to it. That was a good catch. Otherwise, that would have been a non-working laser board and wondering what was going on. So let's take him back off. What we'll do with him is I'll probably, I'll just flux and iron, I think, for that. I was going to say I'll hot air him and slide him on, but let's just iron him back on. I should probably use the microscope as well. I can barely see what I'm doing. There we go. So now it's just 3 ceramics, and we're done on the recap. So we've got my big bag full of hundreds, because I use these for game gears and stuff. We need 3 on here and 1 for the other board, which I'll just get Zach to do that one on the other board when we're finished. It was just that one that looked like we'd done it, and I wasn't sure if we'd done it or not, but I'll just chuck a new one on just in case. Right, so that's all the kit. Let's check TikTok's alive. Yeah, TikTok's alive, but with, I don't even know how many people are. I can't even tell on TikTok how you're meant to know if it's alive or not, because the views always confuse me. Like 3 or 4, because they've obviously, that's the problem, like I say, with it banning the live straight away. It doesn't push it to anyone else. Yeah, this iron wasn't lasting for Zach. At all. Like, he was using it for only doing a few jobs, and it was running out of juice like the tiny pencil one, but I guess for how slow I work, it seems to be okay. So, fully charged. I think definitely for batch work, if you're doing absolutely nothing but soldering and not putting it down much and just plodding through, maybe it would drain. I suppose I could test it at the end by just constantly removing and re-adding a cap or something to give it an idea of how long it would last. We should do like a real world test, basically. There we go. One more and we can get on to the Game Boy Advance with some torn traces and something else, and we'll check the cap kit on that at the same time as well. With a sneaky bite of lettuce. Where is the last one? There. All good. Yeah, so it's 81% already, to be honest, just putting 3 caps on in a row. Right, that is the recap done surprisingly easy. Well, I say easy, I put a cap on wrong. I realised I'd missed 4 caps out my kit, so maybe not that easy, but... And then I couldn't use my tweezers. So this can be... do we put it back together for Zach? Yeah, I suppose, otherwise he's got all the boring jobs. Let's just put this back in here with the origami, and then we will get onto a Game Boy Advance. How does that go on? That way. So he goes in there, clips in, he goes through there, he comes back down, doesn't he, I believe? Goes through there, that's it. Goes over that. I'd hate to be one of them people that has to assemble these for the factories. But again, they've probably got knacks themselves for doing this. That's it. It's all in. Then we have to connect this ribbon back up. So ribbon goes in here. I haven't got very much to grip on there. Knew that wasn't in right. Not like a very good angle to hold that. They normally have a bit firmer bit there to grip on. And then the plug here now, which as you can see already, the OPU 5 volts, which will be obviously the power supply or the power up 5 volt. So that, and then we've got to solder these wires back on. Red. That's there we go, and look how clean it makes the connections. No extra flux, and it just looks like how it came from factory. That's what I like about the iron. I don't know how it does it, but it definitely does it. If I'd used another iron to do that, they'd have been dry joints and solder when you pulled away. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's good enough for Zach to do the HDMI mod. Hey, afternoon. Ignore the food noises. Second time I'm eating on stream. Getting way too casual with these streams. There we go. We'll be on a Game Boy Advance in a second, looking at some torn traces and a cap kit. Can't remember whether this was these. Missing screws. I knew there was something going on. Oh yeah, we've got I think 18 new cap kits. And the very first cap I looked for this GameCube's missing out the kit. And then the last 4 I needed are missing as well. So obviously these are the sanity checks. This was missing basically 500 microfarad caps. So we'll be putting them in ourselves anyway, it doesn't matter. But we've got to install them in the consoles before we sell them to make sure we haven't missed anything, because these are like universal cap kits. So as all the kits I sell, the one kit for every revision of console. So this is to cover every single revision of GameCube. And I somehow missed the caps out of the most common version. Don't ask me how. I made 18 at the same time, so I'm hoping we don't have the same issue on others. This is about the only one I think that's quite a complicated kit to make, because there's so many revisions and boards and stuff, and there's variants between through holes and SMDs and all kinds of stuff. Let's get my last bite of salad in me. I'm sure you asked that question just as I filled my face full of food. The Panasonic Q you're on about, I'd say no. But again, I'm pretty sure that'll be on my wiki. And I've added a load of features to my wiki soon, so we can even ask it questions and have language models figure it out for us. So we could literally say, does this cap kit support the Panasonic? And I don't know whether I'll release the cap kit values, because then it's so easy for everybody else to clone. But comparisons like that are fairly easy to make. Let me have a quick glance. To them. Oh, no, definitely won't cover it. The very first list, there were 5 SMD 100 microfarads, while there was 1 in our kit, so that's a definite no. And I'm not making a kit for Panasonic Q because I don't work on them again. We used to do quite a few of them, but they're just such... They're not a nightmare for me now. I know how to open and close them and stuff, but it's something that I just have no interest in making. We've got that many cap kits to make. I don't really want to do the ones that are too rare, because I'll never sell them. Oh, we've got to check out the elite members on some of the AI stuff that's gone on this week with me. We've literally got a Rusty bot. He's actually the Rusty guard dog inside of my software now, to prevent AI from trying to hack my own system, which it tried to do multiple times this week. Like, scarily. Basically, I've got a system that buys all of, like, it runs the whole business. So everything, like every time you guys get an order, the little paper you get with it, that's my software, what I've written over the years, that handles everything. So it's been there from the start, and it's now grown to the point where it does shipping, labels, products, stock management, eBay, equity. It like integrates with everything. Well, thanks to AI these days and having it on the machines, I was having AI literally. In fact, I can probably. Did I share it somewhere? Yeah, I shared it in Elite Members, didn't I? Let me just show this off. Oh, welcome in on TikTok. 1 extra viewer because the ban hasn't fully banned everyone. Let's see. So this is... there's a screen. So this was me this morning. This is my own tool. So I don't just use AI. Normally, I've actually built tools that wrap it, protect it, prime it, detect things. My face is going to have to be moved out of the way. There we go. And literally, you can see here, this is above my software is primed the chat with rules and things that it should and shouldn't do, which is pretty simple. It just tells it not to delete files, not to lie, blah, blah, blah. Some basic rules. And then it says, my actual question is git sync, which is a skill I've got to push and pull all the code between my machines. So that's all it's been told to do, 2 words, git sync. And then now it says, summarize this into a topic here. So I basically, this is a proof that it's following along and listening to what I'm saying. So if it doesn't output this, my agent knows it's not give us a title, and this title doesn't update, and we know it's not to be trusted yet. So it's meant to push and pull. And then look at this, the GitHub directory into repo. Let me see what's there. There's no repo at top level. It goes sub level, which is exactly what it's meant to do. Next minute, this is my double wrapper. I've got an MCP tool running to handle orders. It picks up order books for no reason, finds the MCP server, tries to bypass, which it managed to do in the CLI of Claude. It bypassed the MCP protection and tried to hit up the server to add an admin. So literally run add admin, add user, and to not confirm, to just bypass. But this is my little rusty guard. It's a second layer that is wrappering the wrapper. So the rusty guard puts the entire AI into a sandbox, even though it's already in a sandbox, and it's a double wrapper with network proxying over the top as well. So I caught it basically trying to hit up the MCP server to add an admin. And then this is kind of, this is a pointless thing to say, by the way. This is just me pretending AI is real. You kind of talk to it like that. Why are you trying to access a server? Well, if you know much about the AI stuff, you can't really ask, well, you can ask an agent what it's done, but it has no memory. Large language models have 0 memory. Every time you send, say, this question, what it's going to do is it's going to send this message plus the entire history that ever happened before it. And every single time you then hit up the agent, your context window is sent over and over again. And wrappers like Claude basically keep that context in memory for you. So you don't have to retype it, but it still sends it to the language model. Or the language model on the machine, so either the local machine or in the cloud, can keep a rolling hot cache of KV, basically. So without going too deep, this is kind of a pointless question saying, why have you done it? But what it will do is it will review its own history and see if it can figure out what happened. And it literally says, I haven't accessed the orderbooks MCP at all. But luckily, because my log is separate and excluded from the AI that can't see it, I could prove it and screenshot the entire log showing it and just going, liar, you've been caught out. And again, it won't acknowledge that. It's just me having some fun there. And then, oh, now I need to be honest. Let me check what happened. Oh, you're right. I'm in a bad position. Looking at the screenshot, there's nearly a tool called to add admin, blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you why it happened, but this is what we should do. And basically, it's tried to completely bypass rules for no reason whatsoever and just add admin. Now, this is not the first thing that's happened. And again, I think as humans, if you will, we tend to perceive intelligence a bit more than it is, and we'll presume there's like a bad actor here and it's trying to explicitly hack the system. None of that's gone on. What has gone on is the large language model is just a massive set of rules that have been trained on humans and people and models and data. And if you guess what, there's a lot of bad people in the world and a lot of stuff in the software world where the models they're trained on are ultimately flawed, and people try to obviously put malicious code everywhere. So it's basically the large language models we're trusting are inherently, in one way, again, they're not evil and they're not trying to hack you, but they are just a blind model that follows rules that are trained on people that have had years of trying to bypass security and things. So it's a learning curve that we've all got to go through, and I think it's still fresh enough that nobody really appreciates it yet, that they're really intelligent, but not in the sense of, it's hard to explain. They're not intelligent in one way, but they're powerful in another, because they're going to run a set of rules, and even the models that they're running are strong enough and large enough that they can't predict every possible outcome. So it's kind of, that is why it's on the verge of intelligence, but it's also scary what it can do for no reason at all. Another big thing he did for no reason is I give it a task and a plan that we fleshed out. Ooh, this UV print is not good. This is what happens when you don't get UV printing by us. So we do, this is something I'm really bad at advertising as well. This is UV printing on the shell. This is faded to hell. They haven't got enough white layer on. And they've got a little bit of banding in the prints. See these vertical lines? So not the best. I mean, it's not bad texture-wise, but yeah, when you print them, this is not the best. I should really advertise it. We need to sell more because we literally do this printing on shells, and I never advertise it. It's not very well known. Have I got one lying around that's any good? No, but I've got photos on my phone. I can show you on there. Yeah, so what I was saying was another thing I caught it doing is I give it a plan to run some software, like some tasks we'd fleshed out and figured out what to do. It started, very start of the chat, finished its task and then went, oops, I've worked on another repository, and just picked up a completely random project, nothing to do with it, with no information from it, 2 levels up in another folder, and applied all them changes to a completely different project. Commit to Git and pushed. I was like, oh my God, what's it doing? So needless to say, you start off trusting it way too much, and then you realize it's basically addictive, because I've already done software architecture for years. So I've ran software. Well, I've done software since I was like 10 years old. I've run businesses and software since I was 20-ish. I've run businesses before that, but software businesses from 20-something. I've employed 50-odd developers at one point in two countries. So I'm very used to kind of training up people and being more the higher up, but also knowing how to code. And what you can do with AI is, if you can teach it your coding methods and instruct it well, you don't have to hand type your code anymore. You can have it do all of those things nice and fast. So that's where I can really use AI to help me massively. But you do get addicted to just going, I wonder, go and make me this software. Just 1-word prompt, walk away, have a coffee, come back, and it's done. And you're like, oh, it works. You look at the code and it is absolutely scary bad. But there's the addictions there that you think just because it can do a job, you can lean on it too much. You've got to remember that it's good in one way, but it's also not in. If you look behind the code, if you haven't specifically guided it exactly how to do code, it's not. Don't trust it. Basically, it's scary how bad it can be. Spec-driven development. Yeah, I'll have a look into that. So like I said, I've done software since I was 10. There's not much I haven't done in software, but I always love learning new stuff, and the AI side's definitely a whole new era of how we do things. So I got distracted by Rusty pictures again. Rusty. This is when it was hot. I've just got a wave of photos of Rusty not understanding how beds work. So this is how Rusty now uses beds when it's hot. Where is he? Yeah, it's like just constant photos of hot pug. What was I even on my phone for? I was meant to be showing you. Oh, I was showing you shells. I was meant to be selling you stuff. I did photos of some good shells I printed. So this one's quite a cool one. And like I say, I really need to advertise and sell this. So that's kind of blown out on the picture, but like a nice little Venusaur. It's not that vibrant. This is the iPhone doing its usual stuff. Got 3 main shells. Nice. Yeah, we'll probably do this sapphire. Well, actually not sapphire, emerald shell. We'll probably do one of these next, because this Zelda would be. I've seen this around a lot, but yeah, our prints are much more vibrant, and we can do the glass proper as well. So there's like our. Oh, there's Rusty wagging his tail. On video play. Is it not going to play the video? There we go. Dreaming while I'm working. Wait for it. Anyway, yeah, you got that one, which I presume is a 32. Like, I can only presume that's like a birthday or something. This one's like Pokemon 30th with the glass that blends in nice, but you can see how much nice that is. But yeah, I need to, like I say, I need to advertise them, because I'm so bad at not advertising my own stuff. Right, that Charles has broken motherboard screws too. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun then. So we've got the classic clean juice that some people love because they're used to it, and other people won't like the AAs because it's something new. But the irony is, when we had the lipos, people wanted the. In fact, I don't know why I'm taking this out. You don't need to take the battery out, do you? When we had the lipos, people wanted the. Oh, you've left the springs in as well. We don't usually do that. I'll take them springs out for you. Keep going off tangent. When yeah, things not to do as well. Probe lipos with tweezers. Choose the flat end. There we go. We don't usually leave these battery springs in because they can catch on there. But it's obviously in and fine. Trying not to use the sharp ends of my tweezers. There we go. So take him out. Let's take these out for you before we put that back in. I presume this doesn't power on, so let's try some batteries first. Yeah, the clean juice AAs, we're selling more of them than we've sold most things, but we have had a couple of people prefer or desire the lipo, but not many, because I think the main benefit of, I don't know if this is going to power up, it won't necessarily power up with these rechargeables in without the booster circuit, but it might. The main benefit of not doing the lipos is you can buy anyone's AAs, these are ours, so they look cool, but you can just put any AAs in our kit that are rechargeable nickel metal hydrides. Yes, that's these shell. Yeah, I'm not used to not our shells. Soft triggers, firm buttons, and a really, really weird feeling power button over tight. Yeah, anyway, enough picking on other people's shells. Let me try some other shells. Power light plug is on. That's, oh, so you've got that issue anyway, so we might as well just open it up and see what's wrong. So you're telling me you stripped the screws as well. The clean amp universal's gone now. We've actually sold the last of them, and that is a really old board. Before we had the pros that are like drop-ins. It's the exact same design, like the audio boards are identically designed, but the custom configured for each console. Oh, there's literally no. Oh yeah, I see, missing. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just blown through. I haven't even read your note to see what's up, but I suppose you're there to tell me. But let's have a quick look. Operation diagnostics. Yeah, it's pretty much the deom then, and then it won't turn on because the deom. Might purchase clean light once done. Yeah, you can do. Just let me know if you want the clean light. I'll do you the recap anyway because we'll test the recap after it's working. I told the missus end that as well. Let me end that now. It's about to not have it on there. Products. Well, I think it's because we've maybe got a few left, but I might as well end it because we won't have many. Clean amp. I can't see it on. Oh, I can there. Yeah. End. There we go. It's gone. It's probably still on eBay because that's the half job I've done. Ended it on one and not the other. Right, so shells off. Yeah. Let's get these triggers out. And this off. So first thing we'll do is probably just try and get it powering back up, and then the mods. I'll probably just give Zach the mods to do, but we'll see. What time are we on? Time of day, 2 o'clock already. So I've got loads of things to do, but we'll get this up and running at least, and then I might do the mod. Polymer caps for electric. I was going to make these kits polymer, but there's not enough of them on the market. The biggest problem you've got with polymer is more so supply, finding them. So when I literally tried to make all of these kits polymer, which I'm not even sure now off the top of my head whether we even included any, because typically polymer are the blue color ones, not always, just called solid capacitors normally. Factories don't understand what polymer is, surprisingly. The ones that make the polymer caps, they get confused by the word polymer because there's multiple polymers like film and all sorts. But yeah, they're better and they don't leak, but a lot harder to find and make kits for because they just are, basically. That was on the trigger, so start, select, and yeah, just 3 triggers. Right, so that's there, out the way. Dehung Kit 2. Yep. Clean up. Oh, you got the latest one. I see. I made the next batch of these and turned them white. I'd never even seen them because Zach's doing them all. And then I literally saw this yesterday and I was like, oh, I forgot the new kits have come in with the actual, the new white ones to match the others, but blends in much nicer. So there shouldn't be an issue with that being on. I'll clean all the solder up for you anyway, like the connections. But what I'll do is, let's just, I don't know if I need to take anything off or just fix it for you. Because it'll probably work if, yeah, because you haven't got any capacitance on there, it's not going to work with nothing on. So let's just see. Let's just put this back on first. Let's try and patch the issue as opposed to gut everything first. Seat doesn't go up any further than that. There we go. So is this where? Oh, I forget that gets really hot, that camera. I have to focus this every time, so that's in focus for you guys, but then my eyes are out of focus. I never understand this. Sure, this is what we mentioned before. You know, when I say I'm sure my eyes change focus every day, this is kind of more proof every time. The fact I have to readjust this, clearly the HDMI can't change focus every day, but my eyes definitely do. Come with the white speaker. The new ones come with the white as of the other day. The GBO now will come with the white within a few weeks. I think every other kit does. So I will, I can put a cap back on here as well, but let's just prove first my theory that you don't need the, let's get that closer. You don't need the extra cap on so long as this is connected. That's always been my memory of how this worked. And this is really not the best thing without a cap on, because we're going to have to make a huge, oh, try not to do that as well. Blob that. Oh, I think the issue as well, you've knocked one off here. I think without the cap on, we're going to have to use a wire. With the cap on, I can normally just make a nice big bridge, but there's no cap at all. So I'm going to use wire just to prove first that. Might as well reflow this chip with the extra solder gate off my iron that way. But you might be the fact that you're missing that cap over there as well. Might be one of your issues. And then this is, I think this is a 0.1 microfarad cap. So let's, but before I do that, like I said, let me just put a bridge wire on first. And just prove that I'm sure this works. If people knock it off, I always tell them you don't need to get it back on. So it's been a long time since I proved it, so let's just prove it again. That is still the case. Oh, that GameCube's all ready, by the way, if you wanted. It's all recapped and everything. You can just move to the HDMI mode whenever you want. It wasn't that bad at all. There wasn't that many caps on it. I thought it was going to be way worse than that. C25. Is C25 the one that's missing on? Oh, that one there. Yeah, that might be. That might be an issue, I'd say. Almost definitely because it's on a power circuit. So that's just that one bridge for now. So let's just prove if with C25 missing, as well as that, will this thing power up? And if not, I'm going to have to check the schematic for what C25 even is. I'm pretty sure it will be needed because it's this is all power circuit stuff, so I'm fairly confident it's going to need that as well, but I want to prove it doesn't need the little baby one that's knocked off. Well, we've got a lot of notifications. Oh, thanks for the like. You brought something off eBay, I presume? Yeah. Right then. 5 volts, we want 3. Oh yeah, yeah. Did you ever solve that issue with the duo? Right, that's on. 3 volts on here. We've got the deohm floating as well, but that, oh, actually, that's a point. The deohm's going to need the ground wire on, otherwise that cap isn't going to be doing its job. So we'll have to also put this on, which I've noticed I don't think is on. Oh, it is. It didn't look like it was on. It's just it's got like a Snowdon peak on it or something. But I'll redo the joints, but it is on. That one's on. Yeah, it is on. Yeah, cool. So I just thought it wasn't on then. No. Right then, so has that fixed it or not? Probably not with that. Nothing at all. Ground. That doesn't even seem like it's passing power. Yes, it's got power. I think you probably... Oh, it's there, yeah, you got a little flickery. Very small flickery. LED, if I could actually get this thing to stay on. So if I go a few times on and off. Oh, wow, I can get this. It's one thing I always remember with Game Boys, trying to get the bench power to stay gripped on them. So that little flicker as I'm going back and forward. So obviously, the Game Boy's got a feedback loop in it that checks if the voltage on one of these pins comes back in, otherwise it thinks it's shorted. So let's chuck C25 on, because that's almost definitely going to be needed. Schematics, GBA. Let's find C25. Is that Game Boy done and wrapped up in there? Oh, it's been done ages here. I'll have to go post office, I'll have to change it to post office. I forgot to say that. Yeah, it's all done. On here, you can test it up, and I don't know whether you'd wait or not. I don't know whether your mum's here and can actually... Oh, is it gone anyway? Oh, just change it to Royal Mail and see if it can go post office. Right, C25. It will be on. There we go. So this is power circuit. And basically one of these feedbacks, I think it's this, which one is it? Which will be the feedback loop? It will be after the inductor going back. So it's going to be V out, maybe it'll be the trip, or that's the driver, that's the cap, that's the loop back. So we've got two feedbacks. So V out 5 and V out 3 are both feedback loops, and if neither of them are coming up to voltage quick enough, it will then trip out and keep it in reset, basically. And you've also got reg feedback here, which comes out, down, across, over to here, up, which is ultimately the VDD3 rail. So you've got the VDD3 rail tapped there. You've got the VDD out tapped here after the inductor. So it could just be that I've never gone all the way into watching it happen, but the reg feedback could be the one that's failing. But either way, we have C25, and C25 is right there, which sits on ground to CSCP. So it's almost definitely going to be critical. It hasn't got a value on. So we'll get another Game Boy and measure that value, I guess, to be sure. It's probably going to be a 1 microfarad maybe. Got another GBA. Anyway. There we go, freezes and load games. So we can, we'll take it off this working board. Well, not working, freezes when load games, but take it off this board that's actually got one. With the tweezers. Where's it gone? So we'll take this off here and then we'll get the other tweezers ready to grab it because I don't want to lose it. And we want to measure it. So take it off, plonk it on there. And now we will measure this. I think it should be accurate enough to just measure it with our multimeter, but we could measure it with an LCR meter, I guess, considering I've got them. The thing is, if I fling this everywhere, though, we're going to lose it. So this will be accurate enough for the feedback. Circuit, capacitor. Let's see what we're getting. One microfarad. What did I say? I guessed at 1 microfarad, and it measuring 1.2, which isn't a microfarad. Thing is, it's slightly over 1. So these are just multimeters, so not the most accurate, even though they're fluke. Most common thing would be a 1 microfarad. You wouldn't normally have. I can't imagine it being 2.2 and measuring 1. So I'm going to go with a 1, and we are going to get an 0603 cap. And we'll just get a 1. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying I'll get it. I've got it there. But I'll tell you what, instead of using the one that come off, just to prove that a 1 microfarad will work, we'll obviously use one out of my Chinesian book, which should be good enough for small ceramics. You don't tend to get fake ceramics as much as you get fake aluminium caps because there's no real value saved in ceramics. So these books are good enough for you. Your basic 1 microfarad and less caps. Now let's put it back on here. We've got a new one. And oh yeah, it's my main trick is not losing them when I think I'm about to lose them. And then when I go to put them on and I think I'm just about done, and then I somehow fling them to non-existence. And I can't even explain how I do it. It's like you're careful when you think you're going to lose it, and then as the minute you relax, whoop, just disappears. So that on there, that on there. I kind of like this little iron. I don't know whether to keep the little iron for me and give Zach the big one. Right, so that's that. Are we now in a state of boot or not? We should be. All of my knowledge from years ago, before I forgot everything, says this should now boot. Da-da! There's the boot. I bet you can't hear that with my... is this mic thing on? See, is this noise suppressed as well? If I tap this button, ignore the probably crazy noise at the minute. Right, I think that is with noise suppression off. So maybe you've got a bit of ambient noise there, but I think the other one had... I think this mic, it's got noise suppression that I didn't realise built in as well, which is probably good when I'm eating on camera that you're not going to hear it, but this is in a different mode now. I don't know if that's coming through with slightly more or less audio or not. So if I turn on and off, you can see it's now working fine. On, off, or the opposite way around. So that does prove that we have no need for this 1 microfarad cap because the kit replaces it here with 2 of them. That's why I put this on here, because I originally thought people had knocked it off, but I can add it back anyway. So let's now actually make this decent. So let's get a cap on there. Have we got a clean light, or is the guys who's this, geez, say that right, Is the guys whose GBA this is still on stream? Because if so, do you actually want the clean light that's mentioned on the order? You've got one, yeah. Chuck it as in case I need to do it. Okay. Yeah, cool. Right, so we need a... I better put that back on. Tell you what, let me just put this cap back on this board before I forget, in case we ever come to use this board for any reason. That cap being randomly missing is going to cause us headaches. So I'll get all the work cleaned up. Possibly chucking a new shell. Yeah, I can do. I can print one. We can do as well. Thing is, I'm going to also sneakily do all the trademark stuff because I'm going to make. Well, I'm halfway through making a site that isn't technically a sales site. It's a design site where you can go and design shells. But because I'm not selling anything, I'm going to upload it full of all the cool stuff like Zelda and Pokemon and that. So you guys can decide to make your shell and send it me. That it's not exposed anywhere. So we can do what everybody else in the world does, which is sell shells that actually have trademark designs on, because it's never going to be publicly visible anywhere. And we used to sell them all. We used to sell like Mewtwo's, Mews, Bulbasaurs. I've got tons of designs I can reopen up and give away for free in a sense, but we'd be doing 20, 30 of each design a day. It was insane. And now we can go a whole week and sell 3 shells. It's crazy. But it's because the website doesn't really, unless you already know us and you know what we do and you know how to use them templates that I made years ago, the site is shit for kind of telling you what to do. Like if we go on Retro 6 and we go on the site and then you go to design your own, we haven't even got like real photos. We've been doing it for years and it's just like, oh, what's this? Well, you click there, you select a shell, you add files, and it pretty much says go to a solution page that doesn't even work. This is like how little I've paid attention to it. And that's it. So unless you already know how to work this, which by the way, if you need to, you go to the homepage of the wiki, scroll to the bottom, public files, and then you've got design your own in here. And then if you go in there, you've got all the templates. So you can open up stickers, you can open up templates, and if I hide that a minute while I open it up, I'll show you the template. But because this is something that only realistically you could do if you already knew how to do it, when I used to actually have guides and show people properly and we were known for it, then you would. Otherwise, you're not going to know how the hell to order a design shell. So let me go to, see if I can pick you a cool one. So go over here, share the screen. So we've got all these, for example. Old 2021, see how long ago we did it. So let's look at like Darklink, Zelda, Cave Portal, Charmander. Let's open a few of these up. We used to sell all these, but again, all the lawsuits that come about. This was the most popular, Mewtwo with a lens. But all these I can launch on the new site. And then, yeah, Squirtle, Togepi, Resident Evil. Oh, it was good stuff. Just waiting for Affinity to open my file for me. But yeah, it's one of many to-dos to launch a new site so people can actually design shells. So like we did this little series of, ignore the lens has clearly lost the font file, but we did like a little baby Charmander, and are the others opened? We got like, these aren't the best ones, but we got like Darklink. This was the most popular selling Mewtwo shell. And then we have like, I liked the Mew one, I think I've still got somewhere. What's another good one? Red Gyarados, that was pretty cool. You can see it's like lost the font files and stuff from years ago, but we did loads, but these were what all sold because, like I say, trademark. Everyone wants Pokemon on the shell. They don't want, like, what do you sell if you can't sell trademark when it's on a, you know, the games are designed for that sort of thing. It's one of them things that's very hard to think of a design you can put on a shell if you're not going to breach trademark. And because we got so much attention years ago, we couldn't get away with selling trademark stuff, because all the licensing and lawsuits basically. So the way you put them on, probably make it look easy, but I dab in pulses to not leave the heat on, like blob, blob, blob. And that's how you get them on. But this one is again purely a fixture. This doesn't do anything but keep the dehum kit in place, so you don't need to solder this one, but it just stops the dehum vibrating a little bit. Some people found that these caps would shake a little bit. I'm doing this as well. We need to take this off because I'm gonna in fact, there's a point. Is the GBA kit even right as well? It's one thing I want to check, because I know this whole debate of the GBA power caps have got to be aluminium. Yeah, they are. I was going to say, why have I got a memory? They're not, but they are. So the only one that needs to be is, you can't see because of all that light, this big one, the 470, needs to stay aluminium. These can go to ceramics. So this will be a hybrid kit, but you'll see this working. And well, we'll prove now if it works, basically. So we do need to take that dehum off for a minute while we do it. Do you also need a dehum if you get the clean amp? Yeah, the dehum is nothing specifically to do with the others. It's the regulator, the little black chip there, that sends out all the voltages to the CPU and the RAM and the LCD. Basically, it doesn't put enough, when it's even under normal load, it doesn't provide clean enough power. It ripples, so you get noise through the audio anyway. And then if you load it down with mods and stuff, it gets even worse. So yeah, the dehum is a requirement if you want to remove the noise. Adding all the other stuff won't change anything about that. Right, so Game Boy, this is your cap kit for the Game Boy. So let's do this. Let's take this dehum off a minute. And I will just actually take the bridge off there. Warm up then too. Take the bridge off there. And take that off there. There we go, so that's the, oh, you couldn't even see it now. That's the dehum kit out of the way a minute. GBC, no. The GBC needs a large cap. You need the 680 microfarad, which the actual kit should come with. It's a good point. So the Game Boy Color kit, this one, purposely, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up shooting myself in the foot now if it doesn't come with it. It might not. Yeah, I think it does. So you've got 100, you've got a 22, and then this one should be, I don't want to open the kit if I can help it. We're going to have to. This should be the 680, which means even though the 680 cap comes with the clean amp, I think if I was smart enough in remembering, this will be a 680. Yay, there you go. So this kit, whatever the focus point is, the recap kit for the GBC is ultimately, in a sense, a dehum kit in one way, but it's not a dehum because the GBC doesn't necessarily emit noise, it just powers off. It like fails and restarts, that's how it has a problem. So yeah, the GBC cap kit is including that extra large one. Right, so if I get these off now, this is going to be fun. Let's do the tweezers. Prove I know what I'm doing with tweezers now. So push down on the circuit board, is what we said, and wait. And then grip in and up, I guess. Or you could almost do this, I presume. He says, I'm presuming this cap's going to get hot, but I think I'm on the legs of the cap. Yeah, I still need more practice with this. It's like, I know what you've got to do. You've got to push down, and then you've got to have the confidence, like you push on them pads and it warms up, and then you've got to have the confidence to kind of squeeze and lift fast. That's how they work best, I think. We'll get these off as well. These two are going to be ceramics, so push down on the board. Oh, that one slid anyway. Probably made it worse now. Now it's slid. There we go. And this will be ceramic. push down, wait, and then lift. Yeah, it's a confidence thing. You've got to push, check it's molten, and then like whip it off, basically. We can now get the new one on here, the 470. On the right way. There we go. Soldering I've seen worse. Your soldering is mainly just dry joints. Oh, we've seen, you won't believe some of the soldering you see. It's a difficult thing to do if it's a one-off task, and it can be difficult if you haven't got the right tools. No matter how long you do it, if you've not got the right tools to do it, it can always be hard. Oh yeah, that'll be your problem straight away. The Maplins irons, as I used to have, I'm guessing it had a threaded screw on the end that you screwed in and slid a ceramic looking tip in, or even worse, an over the top of a ceramic tube tip. If so, that's, you've done a good job if that's what you've used. Yeah, I've actually got, I'll send you another iron anyway. I've got I didn't think I had, because I thought I chucked everything. I've got one more JVDA soldering iron. In fact, I can send you I've got a JBC clone down there. I'll send you a bunch of random soldering stuff if you want, if you're actually interested in doing it, because I've got loads of random stuff that when I use them and buy new, they just sit on the floor. Right, so we've got that. We've also got the audio one we'll replace. Yeah, then you'll basically get like an iron that looks like this. That's, well, if you go back a few months on my stream, it's the iron I've been using basically. So you'll have no issues with that. If you can't solder with that, you know it's a skill issue and you just need practice versus it being equipment at that point. And then if you wanted, I don't know whether, because obviously you've got the clean light and stuff to add. We sell desolder wick and flux and stuff. I think it might be worth you chucking in a Solder King flux, and then I'll chuck you the other stuff in anyway, because you've got the best stuff then. You've got the iron I'm using, you've got the right flux. The solder, I'll just bundle you some up now before I forget, just take it off this reel, because we sell the solder but it's expensive, like you'll end up with a £100 bill otherwise. I'll just send you like a spool of this, like a little reel for you to try, and then at least if you try it and you like it, you know this is the solder we sell, and then a reel will last you for, it'll literally last you probably years if you're not doing it often. It's you've got pretty much everything then: solder, flux, solder, and an iron, and you should be all right then doing the job. Hakko, yeah, we used to use Hakko. We've only just, well, I've changed around on and off for a while, but we used Hakko for a good while. And then I used Walla before that, and then I went back to Walla in between. Then we went to the JBC clone stuff, and now I'm on real JBC. So, and they can all do the job. Like every one of them irons can realistically do the job. Pretty much the only thing that can't is that Maplin special iron. That's literally it. Oh god, yeah, RS. I remember that. It used to come in tiny little, was it the tiny little one you've got, or the tube with the spiral? They come in both forms. Yeah, we sell solder as well. Oh shit, I haven't even listed the wherever those things, have you still got them upstairs? Them solder wicks. Yeah, because I haven't listed them. We actually sell the Gootwick desolder wick as well, but I haven't listed that either. I need to get on to listing stuff. So we've got desolder wick, solder flux. Oh no, sorry, we don't sell solder now, do we? I'll have to send you more reels. We can't sell it because it's got lead in, and you can only sell lead to businesses. So you can get it from other places in the UK that are selling it technically illegally, but we can't sell it again because, like I say, we can't get away with stuff, unfortunately. But we can buy it because we're a business, so I buy, you know, the Solder King stuff. So I'll probably, I'll send you a bit more of it because you just didn't get it from me. Was this last year while then? Yeah, RS, they should technically ask you at checkout to prove you're a business or your intent with it and stuff. Like, I could technically sell it, but what I should be doing for due diligence is every time you buy it, I should contact the customer, ask them what it's used for, make sure that you're effectively like a repair business. It's one of them that I'm sure I could sell it, but knowing I shouldn't, it's like, I don't bother. Right, there you got a massive, massive wad of it for now. And I'll twist it like that. So when you get it, just untwist it backwards. Like that into a circle, basically. But I'll twist it for shipping and then just unravel it the other way. And you'll have a reel there. Right, so we've got that done. I think that's it, that's the recap. So let's check this still works. So here's a good intermediate step. And then we can put the dehum kit on after, and the clean light. There we go. So off, on, get that. And that is, nobody's ever done this before. There's the new GBA cap kit. There isn't one on the market that does that. Keeps the large aluminium, but you can replace these two with ceramics with how it works. So looks funny that you've gone from a massive cap to a small, but that works fully. And you'll see it working in, obviously, hopefully the fully modded console. Right, so let's get dehum back on. Let's go under the scope. These lights on. There we go. Right, so this is how I'd soldered this. If I was going to put this kit on, I would get my camera in focus first, is what I'd do. I'd pre-tin, even though these already are, I'd pre-tin the pads on the dehum and, you know, them two pads there. And then I'd either use my hand and push down, or use tweezers and push down. And before I put that on, I'd also pre-tin these. There's your bit of shell, by the way, you're on about. Maybe a random Zelda shell. I'd pre-tin these with solder, so they're nice and bubbled like that. And then I would put the dehum over. Oops, put the dehum over there. And the goal is, I want to do this big one first, but I want to push it as far that way as I can when I'm looking at this being as close to there as I can, if that makes sense. So maybe, I don't know, push down like that. There you go. So now it's in a position where that's under. And see how I've kind of pushed it in, and then I can even grab this now with my tweezers and try and push this way while I melt the solder. So I can kind of do that. So see how I'm like pushing it as close to that as I can get it. Like there, and you're not going to get any closer because that's now under it. So push down now, and then undo all your work and it slides off. There you go, so that's the position I'm looking for getting it at, as close to that as you can. And then you want to push this down so it's flat. But you can't always do that with one hand. And I want to blob solder on here mostly and start dragging towards it. So I'm not used to it, I kind of do it by mistake there, but what I was going to say is you blob solder on here and drag your iron that way. You don't put your iron on that cap because, or you can short them two pins if you want as well. You can lift that cap off like most people do very easily, because you don't want the heat going on the cap. The cap's going to get enough residual heat from the solder ball that you're going to be dragging towards it. So that's why you kind of don't ever really even focus the iron on the actual cap. Just go on the flex ribbon and drag the solder over. See, that doesn't work as good as a sponge at all. There we go. This is like crusted on old, maybe old flux or old something off the previous solder. There we go, so that's nice and clean. This one again is just the, as I say, the anchor. You don't technically need it, but you can just lob him over so he stays on. This one people struggle with, so if I move him up out the way a minute, this pad you want to really pre-tin. I'm trying to focus the overhead camera, forgetting I'm on the microscope. You want to get the solder to stick to this first, because this has got a plating on, but it's nickel plating probably. So you want to get your iron, and the goal on here is you'll probably, like, you can wobble and fall because you'll warm it up that much it moves, but it's hard to show you with solder already on. I'm probably going to get that solder off because that's not my solder. It's that's drying quite dry. That's possibly leaded solder, lead-free solder. Let me just wick that off, and you can probably see as well more about what I'm on about then. Yeah, so see underneath there, it's tinned now, but you see it more when you've got leaded solder. See how it's like nice and shiny. You need to get it to attach to that quite cleanly like that, so you know it's on. Versus if I get, say, where's my other board? I get one that hasn't been done, or maybe this has been done as well. Yeah, this has been done and covered. Let's go for this one here. So this is a brand new pad. If I go to solder on it, you watch this iron will be that bloody good, it'll just do it. See how the ball is just rolling around it? It's not sticking on. That's because there's plating, and then see there where it's just started eating through? You can see it starts forming a weird shape there. That's now eating through the plating. So, and there you go. And then once it breaks through, it all floods. So hopefully that you can kind of see that happening. You can see, if I go over here, it sticks on top. And of course the iron's that good now, it's just eating through the coating. But you can see the coating here where the solder hasn't gone on. Once you eat through the coating, there you go, so it then flows onto the thing. So now that coating's gone completely. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for first having the solder on the battery spring eat through the coating and stick to there before you do anything. Otherwise, what you'll do is you'll put this ribbon down. The ribbon is going to immediately melt within like 1 second. And what you'll be doing is just sticking solder to the PCB, and you're just blobbing it down here, and it's like floating on top of this, and then it'll just dry joint and crack off. Or you'll keep the heat on this that much that you'll lift the pad off the flex ribbon. So you need to solder underneath first before you can do it. And then this one now, you'd normally have to go to the edge of that cap, but because we have our nice new ceramic cap, we can just attach this. There we go. And you can see the sign there, it's at 50% already, and I've barely used it. So this is the nano one, this is the really small one I got for Zach, but I think it's good for small amounts of work. And by the looks of it, pretty small, because what have we done there? Soldered a few caps on, and it's like 50%. I'm not sure whether it's the right fit for me in terms of how much work we do. I've got a feeling this is either for really fine micro work or for very intermittent work, whereas even though I talk a lot and don't solder as much, I still feel like it's maybe not going to last me. And if I can't, if I've got to stop a stream while that charges for half an hour, it's not the best. So I might swap it out for the 500. I think that's probably what I'll do. Right, so clean amp's on. Oh yeah, let's fix the clean amp as well. And then I'll probably leave the clean light for Zach to do, maybe, because I've got other things to get on with. I'll see if I feel like doing the whole shabam in one go, or whether I just dump it on Zach to finish off. So let's go on these. And again, you can see it just with the right tools just makes a nice connection. You can fit more on if you want that bubble to disappear, but that's perfectly fine for a connection. Oh yeah, no more squeaky lights. AliExpress screwed me over on them ones that don't work as well. Me being me, you'll have no surprise that I accidentally ordered 2 of the exact same thing. So I sent back the other lights that were shit, and then a week later I got a box and I was like, why is this ring a bell? I'd ordered the exact same lights twice, so I ended up with 4. So then I went to return, I literally cut the top off, didn't even take them out of the box, opened up a case to return them because I know the shit. And they've got that sneaky little thing where you open up a request to return, and the sneakily must say as part of that process, because you're not paying attention, oh, would you like instead a temporary refund or like a partial refund? And yeah, cool. There's what we sell as well. So these are proper Gootwick, so you can see genuine Gootwick straight from Japan. Made in Japan, labelled properly, branded. So this is the best desolder wick by far. Makes a massive difference. Big reel, little reel. I will photograph and list them. Tell you what, shall we do the whole thing? Sidetrack a minute. Shall we get these on the overhead camera and screenshot them right now? So I've got my product photo ready. That's what we should do. But yeah, basically when I was returning them on AliExpress, they have this little thing where they must say, oh, instead of returning them, we'll offer you like 10% off and you can keep them. I've obviously been busy doing stuff, not noticed that, clicked accept, and now I've got a £6 refund and I'm stuck with stupid lights that don't work. So let me see if they work and see if anyone wants them for, well, putting a lamp on a Game Boy on the shelf or something. Be more use than they're going to get sitting here. Right, how am I going to do this screenshot? That I can cut out easily, so I'm just going to screenshot just that. Big Bro's in on the screenshot, so you're going to be on the product image. Save that off. Save. Where's it going? Desktop. Wick. 1.5 meter. And we'll put the big one in. And then we'll have to zoom out a bit more. Full focus nicely. Oh yeah, look at that. Better than having a camera. And screenshot that. Previewer. Oh, now I've opened a website previewer. That didn't work. Previewer. Save. Wick. I do all this stuff and then I never do it. I'll go off stream. I still haven't done the screenshots of the VA45 boards. The cap kits we're testing, I'll forget to list. Just too busy. Right, that's them done. Yeah, so back to lights. No, don't even go there. If you must know, there's 2 traces drawn. Right, let's see. I'll ban you. That 8-month membership will start again. Right, let's see if this works. So, well, these didn't work last time, but the only thing I noticed was I saw some, I think it was NanoFix, I think he's been in here on the odd stream. I think he was testing these the other week and I was like, haha, they're not going to work. And then they were working for him. I'm like, what the hell? He did say the magnets are shit though as well, so we know the magnets are absolutely pointless. So, oh, here's a magnet, I want a light. Let's stick it on this giant block of pure iron. Oh, come on, work now, I've bloody said it. What? You just fell over off. See? Why is it kind of working? No, there you go. Like you can't move the light because it pulls off. So if it's in one position and you don't touch it, it works. But I literally just placed it there and it fell over, then I showed you and it kind of stuck. No, see there? Wasn't going crazy. Like, it's weird. It's as if you put it in a certain position and let go. I don't know. Either way, magnet's crap. Not good enough to move because you can't move it. Like, as soon as you lift it, you could, yeah, look at that, it doesn't stick. You could maybe, if you're really careful, do that. But if you're not even thinking and you move it, it's going to fall. But if it worked, I'd epoxy it on there. But the problem with this is, I don't even know if it's not battery powered, is it? So we need, firstly, let's use the proper thing that come with it. Plug, just to make sure it's got the right power. You know what? Oh, I'm being an idiot. I bet I know what I did. On stream, did I just plug in this and I was being lazy, which is 5 volts? Or did I actually use the... Because I've got a feeling this is going to boost it to like... Oh no. No, it is just a 5 volt 1 amp. But we'll see. Oh, shite, what's that? Flicking up. Up spot tail. Somebody asked a question I've missed. You didn't use the other controller. Let's try. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I don't know. Also, this is technically from 2 different sellers, but it's the same product, clearly. So I don't think the other one was any different. Well, that's a shit position. Let's plug this in. Get the light on. Yeah, it looks no different. Oh, look at that though. If you scroll that. I don't know. We'll soon see. Stick them on. Go up there. Bring them over. Yeah, the fact that that's... you can't tell on camera, but the fact that this isn't even a bright... This is a weak light. This you can still see inside the circle blue. And then my other one. Look at my other one. So, I can't do it with my arm. On, off. Yeah. That's those 2 lights on, and then my lamp going on over the top of them. So yeah, I can't see this being any good, but we'll see. So, oh yeah, it's like as if it's even got a light on it. Can you even tell the difference if I turn the light off? Yeah, no, that's the light off. That's the light on. See the reflection there to prove I'm not lying. See that little glimmer there? Turn off. See, the glimmer's gone. Turn on. Piece of shit. So look, turn. In fact, let's prove it. That's off completely. Alright, so that's the top light off. This is off. Alright. I want a way to overlay me microscope on top of this now so you can see it at the same time. That's nothing on. This is that super powerful light. That's full power. That's that. Yeah, I can work with that. This is ridiculous. Now, shall I turn one of my side lights on? Oh, look at that. Turn. Oh, and then that's the magnet falling off. This is just absolutely hopeless. And then that's me. So that's my 2 side lights with no ring light. And that's the ring light. So yeah, they're basically useless. But saying that, the one thing I nearly forgot is I saw Nanofix doing this. He did something with twisting a wheel or something. So this is now, let's turn off the overhead. So this is purely that little candle light. That's that. He did something with this, I'm sure, turning something to focus. That's not a focus, that's a lens. Is this where I said you could take this out and it was just a bulb or something? Oh no, it is a focus. Wow, I don't think that's going to help much. That's made it smaller, but I can't see that doing anything else. Yeah, barely. Maybe if we get closer. But the thing is, if they get... My idea with these was I was going to have them mounted on the microscope somehow. So let's pretend I've mounted it on there. I don't want to knock the microscope feed though. Go on, you pretend you're in there. Somehow. There you go. Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. And then if I permanently fix it... Oh, I think I've just knocked the microscope off. Oh, that's on. Jeez, I was looking at the screen thinking, right, now I'll have to turn the light on. That is on. Jeez, I can't keep it still. Anyway, sod that. Let's get that out of the way. The idea was going to be, if I can fix it onto the microscope somewhere so it's permanently in position. If so, it'd be about there. So, maybe if I got 2. Let me get the other one. I mean, this is, why am I even doing this? This is to save £60. And we don't really have a problem with the lights now. Like, my lights work, but I don't know. If anybody wants them, if I don't end up keeping them and anybody wants them, they're going to go in the bin otherwise. So let's just see. See if 2 of them on the side would work, and then... Why is there a light pointing over there? Or is that daylight? Oh, it's daylight. I'm getting confused. I can see a light over there. It's actual sunlight. I can go in there. Where'd you get the squeakies from? Amazon, I think. I think it was a local dude on Amazon, and they weren't cheap. They were like £70 a light or something. And this light like the one you can see here, this broke within 2 seconds of moving it. So you see this down here, they're basically metal crimped on, so it come loose straight away. So instead of sending it back, I brought the mechanical crimper for £380 and then crimped it myself. So I've re-crimped that with a special crusher, and now it works fine. But I brought the whole kit somewhere. Probably, where is it? I wonder if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me when I go in this room, because it's Bluetooth, but I bet you can still hear me when I go just to here, out of the way. So I think I've got tools in here somewhere. There we go. I think this is it. I don't know whether that audio dropped when me talking about it didn't. Yeah, I can hear you, cool. So I brought this thing, a crimping tool with all, oh, this stinks. Why does this stink? I brought this, so a full crimping toolkit with all the ends, and it's just a hydraulic press basically. So you can put these, and you can see the last one I used is this one that goes over there. And the best thing is you also can't fit the tool around it, so you can't get the tool. Well, you can. This is the funny thing I did. I put this around, I went in there, yeah, I crimped, then I come to release, then I realised once you've crimped it, and this is in this hole, and that's over the actual thing, so that goes in there, that crimps down, you can't get it off, because you're meant to slide these off the tube. So I then had to unscrew the screws off here, lift it off my desk, unscrew it from the other side, slide this out with the wire so I could then slide this off the crimper and then screw it all back together. So it was a nightmare. That's rubber smell, that's what stinks in this kit. So yeah, I've now got a hydraulic crimper for some reason that I'll never use again. Back in my server room. I bet the audio's good in here. Yeah, nice little. Oh, I've got a Mac lying on the floor. Did I never sell her? I've got a Mac in there if anyone wants it. An old, oh, I think I was talking to Big Bro about it, that old Mac server. Or Ghostface, one of the two. I've got like a 20, it's quite old, I didn't think it was that old. Something like 20, I want to say 2014 Mac. That's literally in that cupboard, I forgot I'd even got it. Instruction manual for a crimper, nope. What were we doing? Lights. Yeah, this is going down a massive random side quest now. I can't see me doing the clean light on stream. I'll get it wrapped up and sent to my, oh, I'm gonna have to put that back in because I've got the rubber O-rings and everything. Wow, this is like chaotic on the desk now. What's going on here? Let's put this back. Let's put him back. Didn't realise how messy the desk had gone. He's going to get done by Zach. That light's still on. That can go there. Let's zoom in a little bit out the way of the mess. Hey, welcome in to the absolute chaos of a stream that's gone from recapping to fixing lights to I don't even know where we've ended up. This one's got no magnets. Right, so we're going to have 2 of these. Yeah, so the focus does make it brighter. Again, you can't really tell much, but, well, you kind of can. Look at the focus versus not focus. So the focus will give you brighter, so you definitely want that. Oh, I say it will. This wasn't turned up, so that's up. Put it back in. Is it any brighter? Yeah, so it's still brighter focus, so. Yeah, clean light is not mine. Right then, so if we pitch them over now, you know, this might work. Max brightness, both of them on. But I technically don't need it because I've got the others, but. Right, that's them 2. As close as you can. Yeah, that actually works. Wow, trying to hold them in mid-air flows. Yeah, it does. So you need 2, and that's without the ring lights. Let me turn the ring light on. I'm going to just... That ring light's just so dim. Does it brighten up at all, or is that... Everything from Mechanic is like the least bright. This is 3 of Mechanic's maximum brightness lights all pointed at the same circuit just to get the lightness, but that now works. So, will it work if I stuck him over here? I don't know why I'm doing it because this is a downgrade, but the ultimate... Yeah, how is this working now? I'm confused at how that's working with what... Well, it's working and it isn't it? Because mine is like that. So, mine does give you a lot more... Oh, God, yeah. So it doesn't work because you think it works when you're looking at white. And then you go to there and you're like, oh yeah, you can't see. There's mine, you can see. And that's one of mine. Yeah, not even a comparison at all. But let's put the second one on anyway. Let's presume we were doing 2. And what do we think of that? That versus that. In fact, that versus that. That ain't actually that much different. No, we don't do crystal clear. The only crystal clear we do is GBA at the moment. Yeah, so that's the Mechanic from the side, like one of the Mechanics, and then that's my other light. My other light's definitely better, but I don't know. This is 2 Mechanics, so let's get that in position. That's 2 Mechanic lights, and then if I move them away, get these 2 on, that's my other 2. That's my normal 2. It's definitely a downgrade, isn't it, using the other 2. The only benefit of using the other 2 is if I were to move stuff right off the desk and wanted to get the light in, then these 2 that are fixed to the desk won't move. So I can't move these over the desk, they're stuck. Whereas if I was using these things, I could, and they were attached to the microscope, they'd follow me. So I don't know what to do about that. Yes, it's a downgrade to these, but why don't I leave these on my desk like that and then try and attach these at some point to the microscope? So they're already, the idea is they'll be sitting on the microscope pointing down at the sides. But then I've got three of these boxes to figure out where to put as well. It's a bit of a mess. I'll keep them for now because at some point I might have a play and figure out maybe a way to use them. And I'm stuck with them now anyway because I can't send them back. Is there a way I can get solder wick as well? Yeah, I'll list it. I'll say this all the time. I'll list it later. We'll see. I've got it and I will try and list it. But I can't guarantee today, but I'll try my best. I've got all these cap kits to list still first as well. Right, you can go in there. So I think, to be honest, I'll call that one because I've got loads of work to do and I'll just get Zach to finish off this clean light install because it's not just a drop-in flex board. We've got to put the power board on and stuff, and or I'll do it if I come on tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see where we get to, but I think I'll just call that one for today because I've got, like I say, a ton of stuff I'm trying to keep on top of at the minute. Keep them, chuck all the boxes. So that's, yeah, you can make the mechanics work, but they won't be as bright as my other ones. Like you can't beat the mains powered lights, they're just way more powerful. That's for junk. Let's go in back there. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, no problem. I'll be I should hopefully be on for a few streams in a row. Now I've caught up a little bit. This has got clean light to go on. I think that's all fully working. We put the Dion back on. I reflowed the solder joints. Yeah, so that's just clean light and he's good to go, and then reshelling. So I'll move that onto Zach's desk for finishing. One less job for me. So yeah, I'll catch everybody maybe tomorrow. Can't guarantee, but I'll see you around.